Okay, hey, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. Today we have a really fun and interesting review for you from a brand called Knot. They were actually founded back in 2014 out of Tokyo, Japan, and they're really known for pioneering this whole idea of mix and match in terms of high quality, made in Japan watches. Now, with nearly 17 manufacturing partners across Japan, with more than 11 strap partners alone, they really offer some great traditional Japanese craftsmanship, and really, using those special techniques which have been passed down over many generations. Knot is the only watch company who provides genuine Japan crafted leather and fabric straps, which is also very cool. And this particular watch is their signature watch, their real flagship. It's the AT-38. I'd consider it an everyday watch. Some key common characteristics in design language when you're looking for something you can wear every day is really just that versatile blend of sporty and dressy attributes. Now, this particular model, in their words, is a high-performance mechanical watch instilled with Japanese spirit and craftsmanship. It uses this special Salaz polishing technique, which is essentially a lot like what you've heard in terms of Zaratsu polishing within that studio. But this is actually done at the Heihachi Seki manufacturing plant, which also has done finishing for the cases of the likes of Grand Seiko and other high-class luxury brands. So very, very cool from that standpoint. Now, this is a JDM micro brand, and this particular model sells for 60,000 Japanese yen, and you can get it direct. So with that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. All right, so surprise, the black strap that was in the background is actually on their Chronograph model. But I did want to show these straps and whatnot because their whole thing is it's really everything's a la carte. So when you buy the watch head, you pretty much can decide which straps you're going to get. One interesting thing is all of the straps that they sell are 18mm, and all of the lugs of all of their watches are also 18mm. Now, these are, of course, on the higher end of the spectrum within the watches that they offer, because these are automatic watches and they are also made in Japan watches. So as you can see, get this to focus, this watch is absolutely gorgeous, and the finishing is honestly pretty mind-blowing considering the price. I mean, at 60,000 yen, that's right around $600, probably less depending on how the yen rate is trading. And man, this thing is just gorgeous. The level of actually, gosh, now I want to go wipe it off real quick. The level of the polishing and the brushing on these watches is just impeccable. I'm blown away, honestly, at the price point, what you're actually able to get. So, I mean, I know a lot of people get excited about what Seiko can do in terms of their case finishing for the price. But look at that brushing, guys. Oh my gosh, it's just so fine and subtle. That then it does have, of course, that distortion-free polishing on there as well, to a mirror polish around the bezel. Very nice pale silver dial that does render quite white. You got a pop of blue in that seconds hand. Honestly, color combination wise, especially when I look at it on this beautiful, as you can see, Japanese Cordovan strap, guys. This thing is gorgeous. And this color combination, it's so versatile. I mean, this to me is, I would think of it as like a Japanese Nomos, in terms of just that clean classic aesthetic, but definitely with a Japanese twist there, guys. Very, very gorgeous, my gosh. And then the cool thing is they offer these really great straps as well. because you buy the watch head on its own. There's this great silk one. You have these great textiles and leather kind of combinations. They're all 18 millimeters, so they don't taper, which I think actually looks really great. You can see the denim is very nice, and all of these are sourced and made, you know, in Japan, which is really great. We'll go ahead and get those off camera for now. Really quick, just for the sake of the strap here. Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful strap. Then of course the hardware, you actually can even choose your buckles if you did want different finishing, or you know, some type of PVD there to match a case. That's always nice. This is their mechanical chronograph model, only a 40 millimeter. You can see 38 versus 40. Very nice. Of course, this is thick, but it is a mechanical, made in Japan chronograph, and I have to say it is gorgeous. Look at that. Finishing is just flawless. A little cloudy because of, let's face it guys, my little grubby fingers coming into contact with it. So let me just give it a quick wipe off camera. Sorry about that. But this thing is really gorgeous. So I just want to be able to highlight the level of finish on here for you guys, because it just doesn't show up in photos. Look at that. My goodness. I mean, if this isn't translating through the camera, I just have to, you know, just so you know, this is very much, you know, it's crazy because this is, for a chronograph, it's quite a steal. You know, at the price point, it'd be a steal if it was, you know, Seiko Presage prices comparatively. It's very affordable. And then you get something like this, and my gosh, you get, of course, that Miyota movement, which means it's going to be a 4 hertz sweep, which is 8 ticks per second. Now, if you want that in a Seiko, you're paying thousands. So I mean, that's this, you know, the 6L movement that's inside of my my SJE models. Those are outstanding. The King Seiko, the essentially the thinner Snowflake, those were, yeah, those are expensive watches, and you can have a made in Japan piece here with that nice sweep for so much less. I mean, even if you compare this to a Citizen watch, you know, my JDM Citizen that I reviewed not too long ago, with a similar movement, this is still an insane value. So it's just, when you think about the level of quality within the strap, quick release straps, man, honestly, I got a little off track because this thing is just so cool. And I know on camera it just seems like, oh, that's a very plain kind of sedate watch, but I have to say it just feels very special in hand. So 38 millimeter diameter, 10 millimeters thick, 44.8 millimeters lug to lug, brushed and polished 316L stainless steel case. Flat sapphire crystal with inner AR coating. You're also having, of course, fixed bezel, highly polished there, mirror polished. Japanese Miyota 9015 with a see-through display case back. In terms of the dial itself, you're not going to have any lume, but you do have applied indices that are polished and beveled. You do get that pale silver dial, which comes off looking a lot like a white sunray. Pattern date cut out at the 3 o'clock there. Really nicely done. And then you of course have those polished hands that are also contour. They look like they have a light kind of a center facet there on there. And then you have the blued seconds hand, which is very nice. You are getting 5 atmospheres or 50 meters of water resistance, 18 millimeter lugs, non-tapering strap. But because it's an 18 millimeter lug, I think the non-taper actually helps it fit and feel a little bit more masculine. Very nice from that standpoint. But let's go ahead and get this on the wrist and see how it wears. Alright guys, as you can see on my 7¼ inch wrist, this actually wears really well. It doesn't look oversized at all. Doesn't look undersized either. It's just a real sweet spot. So very, very nice. Honestly, I was a little concerned about the 18 millimeter lug width, but with the non-tapering strap, it might be one of my favorite new looks. Man, I think that actually looks really good. So yeah, this thing is gorgeous, guys. I do have it on this beautiful premium Japanese Cordovan strap in the dark brown, kind of almost like an ox blood type color. It has 70 millimeter length on the buckle end, and then on the tail end, it's 130 millimeters, and it just suits the watch really well, and it looks fantastic. You can see quite a thin profile. It might even visually appear thicker than it is because it's, you know, there's not a lot of contouring or beveling, anything like that. It's a bit of a slab side, but it's thin, guys. 10 millimeters. So, and then it also has a flat crystal. This thing is just immaculate. So that's the thing I really want to point. I want to get across to you guys. Also, it has drilled lugs. I mean, it's just clean, guys. This thing is clean. Wow. So, not sure what else I can say about that, you know? It does, of course, this is not like, hey, this is the one that comes with it. It's a great pairing, but you can get these great other ones, and, you know, they pretty much all will have the same style of buckle there, as you can see. Really nicely constructed. Just silky, gorgeous options out there. And then, of course, the you guys will see a full review on this watch as well, but you can look at the beautiful craftsmanship on this full grain leather as well. This one even has 2 lug holes, one for traditional straps, which is a little bit higher, and then one for pass-through straps, which will be lower, so you can actually get a more secure wear. So very thoughtful on their part. But let's go ahead and give it a quick look there. You can see, again, at the 40 millimeter, it's not even that different. So this thing is just, whew. One thing that it doesn't come across in the pictures a lot is those textures in the dial. So really gorgeous there, guys. Textures in this dial probably aren't rendering the way that I'm seeing them in person. It's a very subtle and very faint type of sun ray burst there. We'll probably have to wait till we do some low light transition shots. Although there won't be any lume on the watch, we can definitely do some low light transition just so you can see how these finishes render and dial colors and textures in less than optimal lighting. So let's go ahead and get that set up. All right, we'll go ahead and hit the lights here. There's no lume, so I'm just gonna jump straight into the light transition, otherwise it would have been a pitch black shot. But I do want you guys to get an idea of how these colors and textures render in less than optimal lighting, because you're not always going to be out in the middle of a field enjoying direct sunlight. Here we go. Moneymaker, look at that dial. It does have a bit of warmth. It is a very pale silver, so it is going to render visually white a lot of the times. But here you can see a little bit of that warmth come out. That fine sunray pattern. Very beautiful, guys. And again, you're not always going to be getting great lighting, so I do like to show less than optimal lighting. You know, even some harsh lighting here, high contrast, that should expose any type of production defects. But you can see that fit and finish is absolutely immaculate. I will have to say that for the price, I don't think I've ever seen anything that's finished this good. And honestly, the sharpness of the finish and the transitions, the fineness in the brushing, but it's also a deep brush. I'm blown away by at the price point. I mean, that's typically not anything you would see, you know, well into the $2,500 and above range, and you're getting it on just kind of a mild-mannered $600 approximate watch. So really nice from that standpoint, guys. But let's go ahead and get into some closing thoughts, guys. On the wrist, super classic wear. It just oozes that premium build quality. In terms of model variations, there's of course, this white dial, technically a pale silver. There's a black dial, or a champagne, or a blue, and those are all in that sunray finish. Plus, there's also a lacquer red dial, as well as kind of this vintage washi paper like limited edition as well. So there's kind of two other limited editions that are out there, but this is one of the standard models, and I'm happy to share it with you guys, just because it's kind of these aren't really super well known, and honestly, with Seiko and Citizen really emerging with their JDM models, making it over to the States, or just gaining popularity in general, I think it's kind of cool to come in with something that's like extra JDM, like it really flies under the radar. But then you see it and it's like, oh wow, like this is not flying under the radar because it's plain, it's flying under the radar somehow with its aesthetics, but its fit and finish and quality, it's just pretty mind-blowing, guys. So in terms of comparable models, like I mentioned, this one just feels kind of like a Japanese Nomos. You know, it's just hip, it's gorgeous, it's extremely versatile. It's very, it has this weird balance between being very dynamic but also being very versatile. So it's doesn't have anything funky going on. So it's just makes it even more wearable. But at the same time, it has these few kind of ornate details, and then the level of finish that just gives you something to talk about, something to look at, something to gush about, drool over, which I'm very, very impressed with, guys. Bottom line, the luxury-like fit and finish paired with tons of equally impressive strap combinations really make this JDM gem quite impressive, and I think it could even impress some of the most jaded collectors that are out there, because I definitely have some wild, cool, fun Japanese watches, especially like exclusive JDM models, as well as just some more higher end models in general from the likes of Seiko and Citizen. And I have to say, these Knot watches are, gosh, I mean, I feel like saying that they're on par with those high-end models is almost doing it a disservice, because for all intents and purposes, I mean, you're getting just the very best that's available out of Japan. The only thing it's lacking is in-house-ness, which is something that is, you know, essentially all micro brands and independent brands really miss out on. So you don't get the in-house movement, but you're getting just the highest levels of every single other component, and you're also getting the flexibility of, one, saving money if you don't want to use their straps, or two, really just making it your own. So I think they actually have, for this particular strap, this exact model, there's also a navy blue one that, oh man, I think it would really sing on this one. But I think on this kind of ox blood dark brown, it's just something special. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.